the cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Right.
Picture this. It's September 2025. You're on a Golden Beach sunset. It's perfect. You've got Jesy Nelson, former Little Mix superstar, standing on the sand with the musician Zion Foster.
He's down on one knee.
He's down on one knee. She's flashing this massive diamond ring. They're calling each other best friends. I mean, it looks like the ultimate happy ending after a year of just, turmoil.
It was the photo that launched 1,000 headlines,
Right.
the definition of a celebrity fairy tale.
Exactly. Okay, now cut to black. Smash cut to January 7th, 2026, a television studio.
Total whiplash.
Jessy's sitting on the This Morning sofa. The diamond ring is gone. Her hands are shaking. And she isn't there to talk about a wedding.
No.
She's there to talk about why her 8-month-old daughters might never, ever walk.
They said it was a fairy tale engagement.
And 4 months later, the engagement is over, and the fight for survival has just begun.
It's just a jarring shift. But today, this isn't just about celebrity gossip. It's about a medical crisis that has rocked the UK pop world. And it's exposed this massive gap in the healthcare system that affects millions of people who don't even know it yet.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Join us as we peel back the glossy layers of celebrity life to find the raw, human stories underneath.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we're looking at the breaking story that has literally everyone talking.
Jesy Nelson. My twins have SMA. It cost me everything.
We've got a stack of articles, interviews, medical journals right here. We are going to cover the confirmed split between Jesy and Zion. We'll get into the heartbreaking diagnosis of their twins, Ocean and Story, and the political firestorm Jesy has started over the heel prick test.
So let's unpack this. We have to start with the headline that dropped yesterday, January 19th. The ring comes off. It's official.
It's done.
Jesy Nelson and Zion Foster have called it quits. And looking at the timeline you pulled together, this has been an absolute whirlwind.
Whirlwind is, I think, putting it mildly. If you track it back, Jesy, who is 34, and Zion, who's 27, they started this on and off thing back in January 2022.
Right. It was passionate. It was volatile. They split up a few times.
A few times. But they fully reconciled in early 2025 for a very specific reason.
Right. Jesy found out she was pregnant, and that pregnancy led to what looked like the peak of their romance. They get engaged in September 2025.
And those photos were everywhere.
Everywhere. Celebrating surviving a traumatic birth, celebrating their new family. It was described as a fairy tale.
And now, 4 months later, the fairy tale is over.
Yeah.
But here is where the sources get really interesting. Usually when a celebrity couple splits this fast, you assume cheating. You assume scandal.
Of course.
But the reporting on this is really emphasizing medical trauma.
Yeah, the phrase being used is amicable, but driven by the sheer intensity of the situation. They're transitioning from partners to a co-parenting team. And honestly, when you look at the psychology of this, it makes total sense.
It does. There's actually data on this. The divorce rate for parents of children with chronic disabilities is significantly higher than the average.
Wow.
The romantic relationship just buckles under the pressure of becoming full-time carers. You stop being lovers and you start being, co-workers in a home ICU.
The energy required just to keep two human beings alive leaves absolutely nothing left for the partnership.
Nothing.
And that pivot coincides with the revelation that their twins, Ocean Jade and Story Monroe, have spinal muscular atrophy type 1. Now, we hear muscle weakness and maybe think, oh, they just need physical therapy. But looking at the medical literature, it is so much darker than that.
It's devastating. We really need to do a proper primer on SMA type 1 so everyone understands the stakes here, because muscle weakness doesn't even begin to cover it.
Okay, break it down for us.
So SMA is a genetic condition where the body can't make a specific protein called survival motor neuron, or SMN.
The name of the protein says it all: survival.
Exactly. Think of your nervous system like a complex electrical grid. The motor neurons are the wires that send signals from the brain to the muscles telling them to move.
Okay.
The SMN protein is the insulation or the fuel that keeps those wires healthy. Without that protein, the motor neurons literally wither and die.
And once they die?
They don't come back. The connection is severed. And type 1, which the twins have, is the most aggressive form.
Right.
It usually shows up in the first 6 months. We're talking about severe muscle wasting. It affects the ability to move limbs, to swallow, and most critically, to breathe.
Oh, wow.
The diaphragm is a muscle, and if it receives no signal, it stops working.
That's heavy.
It is. Without treatment, the life expectancy is often under 2 years. Doctors at Great Ormond Street Hospital told Jesy the girls will likely never walk and may not even regain neck strength.
So just imagine the cognitive dissonance there. You're planning a wedding, you're picking out flowers, while you're being told your children might not survive toddlerhood.
That contrast just breaks your heart. How do you maintain a romance when your home is turning into a hospital?
And the clues were there for the internet detectives, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Jesy appeared on ITV's This Morning on January 7th, weeks before the official confirmation, and she wasn't wearing her ring.
She did the interview alone. And that absence of the ring, that was the first public indicator. But if you connect this to the bigger picture, it just shows how consuming this diagnosis has been.
She wasn't there to talk about her wedding. She was there to beg for healthcare reform.
Right. She deprioritized her personal narrative for her political one.
But if you think Zion walked away quietly, you'd be wrong. His reaction on social media broke hearts in a completely different way.
It really did. And we're going to get to the poem that changed the narrative in just a moment.
Plus, there's a shocking medical backstory about the twins' birth before the SMA was even found that explains why this diagnosis came so late.
And trust me, that detail is the key to the whole political campaign she's launching. You do not want to miss that.
So we've established the split. But to understand why the relationship crumbled, we have to look at the daily reality these two are living. The headline from the tabloids is, "From pop star to nurse," but reading the descriptions of their home, it sounds intense.
Intense is the word. Jesy described her hallway as being filled with medical equipment. This isn't just a figure of speech.
No.
Story, one of the twins, requires a breathing machine at night because she isn't strong enough to breathe alone.
Just pause on that for a second. An 8-month-old baby who relies on a machine to keep her lungs inflating while she sleeps.
That means you, as a parent, you never really sleep. You're always listening for the alarm.
You're living in a state of hypervigilance 24/7.
And it goes further. Both girls have feeding tubes down their noses. They need cough assist machines.
I didn't even know what that was until I read this.
It's a vital piece of kit for SMA patients because the chest muscles are so weak they can't cough. So if they get a cold or even a bit of dust in their lungs, they can't clear it.
So the machine does it for them.
The machine literally pushes air in and then sucks it out to simulate a cough. It's loud, it's invasive, and it's necessary to prevent pneumonia, which is the leading cause of death in these cases.
There was a quote from Jesy that really stuck with me. She said, "I just want to be their mom. I don't want to be a nurse." That feeling of, I just want to cuddle them, but I have to perform medical procedures just to keep them alive. It changes the dynamic of parenthood entirely.
And what's so fascinating here is that this wasn't the first crisis. The trauma didn't start with the SMA diagnosis. It started way back during the pregnancy in March 2025.
Right. Looking at the timeline, they battled something called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, or TTTS.
And this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. TTTS is a rare condition where twins share a placenta and the blood flow becomes unequal. One baby acts as a donor, giving away all their blood and nutrients, and the other acts as the recipient, getting overloaded.
So one is basically starving and the other is overworked.
Exactly. And both are at risk of heart failure. They had to undergo emergency in utero surgery to save the babies, laser surgery inside the womb to seal off the connecting blood vessels.
So before they were even born, there was a fight for survival.
Yes.
And then they were born prematurely at 31 weeks in May 2025. They spent 10 weeks in the NICU.
And this right here, this is the crucial point regarding the SMA diagnosis. That prematurity masked the SMA symptoms.
How so?
Well, preemies often have what's called hypotonia, low muscle tone. They're floppy because they aren't fully developed.
Okay.
So when the twins weren't kicking their legs or lifting their heads, doctors initially told Jesy, don't worry, they're just preemies, they'll catch up.
They just assumed it was a developmental delay from the early birth.
Yes, so they lost time.
They lost critical time.
In conditions like SMA, as we said, time is neurons. Every day without treatment, motor neurons die. And once they are dead, you cannot bring them back.
If they had been tested at birth, treatment could have started before any symptoms even appeared.
Which brings us to Zion Foster. He's 27 years old. He's a musician. And when the news of the split broke, he didn't post a Notes app apology or some PR statement.
No, he posted a poem.
And it was a really powerful piece of writing. He returned to Instagram to post a video, and this poem dedicated to the twins. He critiques the medical establishment, writing that doctors only go near what they can measure.
I love that line about watching smiles like sunsets. It's so poetic, but it's also really defiant. He's rejecting the idea that his daughters are just a list of deficits.
He is rejecting the grief narrative. But there was one line that really struck me.
Which one?
Am I loving you or am I loving my fear?
Ooh, that gets deep.
It's incredibly vulnerable. He's asking, am I truly seeing the child in front of me, or am I just paralyzed by the terror of losing them? For a young father in the public eye to admit that, it's brave.
It shows that while the romantic relationship with Jesy ended, his relationship with his children is profound and complex.
And he publicly labeled Jesy a superwoman for her advocacy.
Which effectively killed any rumors of bad blood.
Precisely. It reinforces that idea of a united front.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be realistic about the medical side, too. You mentioned the treatment earlier, Zolgensma.
Yeah.
It's often called the most expensive drug in the world.
Isn't it something like nearly 2 million pounds per dose? It's a gene therapy, a one-off infusion. But the sources are clear. It halts the disease. It doesn't cure it.
That's the distinction people need to understand. Zolgensma uses a viral vector, basically a hollowed-out virus, to deliver a functional copy of the SMN gene into the body.
So it's like updating the software in a computer.
Good analogy. It stops the muscle death, but it cannot repair the hardware damage that was already done during those months of delay.
That explains Zion's focus on acceptance rather than curing. They're preparing for a life where their daughters will likely need wheelchairs and lifelong support.
It's a new reality, as they call it. But Jesy isn't just accepting this new reality at home.
No, she's taking the fight to Parliament. And she made a cabinet minister cry on national television.
If you want to keep up with how stars like Jesy are using their platforms for real change, you should hit that subscribe button. We're tracking this story as it develops, and you won't want to miss what happens next.
And this next part really answers the so what question. Why should you care? Because this campaign could change healthcare for every single baby born in the UK.
The headline here is the Heel Prick Campaign. Jesy isn't just sitting at home dealing with this. She's trying to change the law.
She's launched a petition to get SMA included in the UK's standard newborn blood spot screening, which everyone knows as the heel prick test.
Right, when they take that tiny drop of blood from the baby's heel right after birth.
I was actually shocked to learn it wasn't already on there. The test currently checks for, 9 conditions, like cystic fibrosis and sickle cell?
Correct. But SMA is not included in England and Wales. And here is where it gets infuriatingly bureaucratic.
What do you mean?
Scotland is adding it in spring 2026.
So we have a postcode lottery.
Literally. A baby born in Glasgow might get diagnosed immediately through the heel prick. They get the Zolgensma gene therapy within weeks. And because their neurons haven't died yet, they might walk, run, live a totally normal life.
But a baby born in London like Ocean and Story doesn't get screened, loses motor neurons for months, and ends up with life-limiting disabilities.
That is maddening. And the argument from the government has historically been about cost-effectiveness, hasn't it? Because the drug is so expensive.
That's the cold calculus of healthcare. It's based on QA all-wise quality-adjusted life years. For a long time, the argument was that the drug was too expensive for the result it gave.
But Jesy's argument, and the argument of the whole SMA community, is that the cost of lifelong care for a disabled child is far, far higher than the cost of the screening and the drug.
Plus, there's the moral argument. Jesy calls the omission indefensible.
She actually met with the health secretary, Wes Streeting, on This Morning. And this wasn't just a photo op. She came prepared.
She did. She played the ultimate card. She showed him a video contrasting a treated child versus an untreated child. On one side, a kid running around. On the other, a child unable to lift their head. It's just undeniable evidence.
And Streeting was visibly moved. He actually teared up. He admitted she was right to challenge the delays and said he's determined to look at genomic medicine.
It feels like she's using her celebrity in the best possible way here. She's bypassing the bureaucracy and going straight to the top.
Absolutely. And this leads us to the upcoming documentary. Mark your calendars for February 13th, 2026.
Amazon Prime is releasing Jesy Nelson, Life After Little Mix.
But this isn't the documentary they started filming, is it?
Not at all. And this is the twist. This was supposed to be a comeback doc. It was going to be about her solo career, falling in love with Zion, becoming a mom.
A glossy pop star diary. Rehearsals, studio sessions, the glamour.
And now?
Now it has been completely retooled into a hard-hitting look at disability advocacy and medical trauma.
So the visuals are going to be candid footage of Great Ormond Street Hospital, the administration of the gene therapy, the real messy stuff.
It's ironic, isn't it? The documentary that was meant to show her happily ever after with Zion will now document the end of their romance. but the strengthening of their alliance as parents.
It redefines her public image entirely. She's moving from the odd one out drama of her Little Mix days to this warrior mom figure.
And this will likely be a landmark moment for disability advocacy in the UK, similar to how other celebrity documentaries, think Kate Garraway with Long COVID, have shifted public policy in the past.
It forces the public to look at something they usually look away from. It's going to be a tough watch, but an important one.
Before we go, we need to bring this back to the listener. Why does this change the game for every parent in the UK?
Right, because even if you don't follow pop culture, this affects you.
It does. If this campaign succeeds, every baby born in the UK will be screened for this killer disease. It means future parents might be spared the heartbreak Jesy and Zion are living right now.
It means the difference between a child in a wheelchair and a child running on the playground.
It fundamentally shifts how we handle genetic diseases at birth.
So, to wrap this up, Jesy and Zion have split, but they have formed a new reality to fight for Ocean and Story. The relationship ended, but the partnership, the one that matters most now, is stronger than ever.
And the Heel Prick campaign could save future lives, even though it's too late to fully cure the twins.
Zion asked in his poem if we value existence over milestones. As we watch this documentary next month, we have to ask ourselves, in a world obsessed with bouncing back and perfection, are we ready to accept the messy, heartbreaking, beautiful reality these two stars are showing us?
That is the question.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.